Hello, my housewives. Today I want to talk about something that I'm sure many of us can relate to, no matter how much you clean every day. From organizing your stuff to scrubbing surfaces, your room still feels like a battlefield. I've felt this way too, especially with my workspace. Even though I tried to clean up everything, still felt chaotic. The drawers wouldn't open properly, and my closet was always overflowing with unnecessary items. Things just kept piling up, and I didn't even know where to start. If you felt the same, I've got some good news. I've finally figured out how to clean effectively without having to redo everything every week. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 simple and easy to apply decluttering tips that will help you keep your space neat and organized without constantly cleaning. These tips will definitely help you to let go of things that no longer serve you without feeling guilty, fix those stuck drawers and overflowing closets, and maintain a clean space without spending too much time or effort. Let's dive into these simple habits and find out how to keep your space clutter-free. First, let's begin by breaking down your cleaning space into smaller sections. One of the biggest challenges when decluttering is the overwhelming feeling you get when you look at your entire house filled with stuff. The reality is, instead of trying to clean the whole space at once, you should start with a small area. For example, instead of cleaning the entire living room or kitchen, pick a specific corner like your desk or a drawer in the kitchen to start. This helps reduce the pressure, and you can tackle it in manageable chunks, which will give you the motivation to keep going. When I started cleaning my own workspace, I decided to focus only on my desk rather than the entire room. I gathered up the clutter, keeping only what I truly needed. It was simple, didn't take much time, and immediately I noticed that the space around me felt cleaner without that overwhelming feeling. This method really works because once you finish one small area, the sense of accomplishment pushes you to keep going with other sections. The key is you don't feel like you're working endlessly because you're just doing it step by step. And speaking of breaking things down into manageable tasks, imagine how much more energy you could have to focus on other parts of your life, like being creative or tackling personal projects, if your home was more organized. If you're interested in how I keep my home easy to manage every day without spending hours cleaning, you won't want to miss tomorrow's video. I'll be sharing how I've streamlined my daily routines to not only keep my home tidy, but also have the energy to create and focus on what matters most. Stay tuned for that. You'll definitely want to catch it. Next, let's move on to tip number 2, applying the 2-minute rule. Next, let's explore a simple yet incredibly effective rule, the 2-minute rule. If you're anything like me, you might have a habit of putting off small tasks, thinking they'll take too much time or that you'll get to them later. But the truth is, those small tasks pile up and create more clutter. The 2-minute rule is straightforward and powerful. The idea is, if something can be done in 2 minutes or less, do it right away. For example, if you see an empty coffee cup on the counter or a piece of paper that needs attention, instead of leaving it there, spend 2 minutes to take care of it immediately. I started applying this rule every time I saw something that could be dealt with quickly. One day I was sitting at my desk and noticed papers scattered all over. Instead of letting them pile up, I decided to take a few minutes to sort them. It only took 5 minutes, and the difference was immediately noticeable. I was finally able to focus without being distracted by the mess. The beauty of this rule is that it prevents small tasks from building up into bigger problems. It's easy to ignore the little things, but when you tackle them right away, you're left with less to do later. The 2-minute rule is a fantastic way to tidy up quickly without feeling overwhelmed, and it doesn't require much time or energy. With these tips, your space will start to feel more organized. Now let's move on to another method that helps keep your things in order more effectively. Now let's talk about something that's often overlooked, organizing your clutter instead of just hiding it. A common habit when we're faced with a mess is to shove everything into a drawer or closet, thinking out of sight, out of mind. But this doesn't solve the problem. It only postpones the inevitable that one day you'll need to open that drawer or closet and you'll be faced with a pile of disorganized things that you'll have to deal with all over again. The solution, instead of hiding clutter, organize it in a way that makes sense for you. For example, in my kitchen, I used to throw random items into drawers when I didn't feel like dealing with them right away. It was convenient, but it also meant that every time I needed something, I had to dig through a chaotic mess. I decided to tackle this by using dividers and small bins to organize things by category. Spices, utensils, and random items all had their own space. Now I can easily find what I need without making a mess. This simple reorganization saved me so much time and frustration. When you organize your clutter, you create systems that make your space functional and easy to maintain. It doesn't have to be perfect, but having a designated place for everything allows you to keep things in order. You'll feel more in control of your space and spend less time searching for things. With your space organized, it's easier to maintain. Now let's move on to a practical tip that helps keep things tidy every day. Next, let's focus on something that can make a huge difference with just a little time commitment: dedicating short, regular cleaning sessions. It's so easy to push off cleaning because we often think it requires a lot of time and effort. The truth is, you don't need hours to clean a space. Sometimes all it takes is 5 to 10 minutes a day to keep things in order. When I started doing this, it completely changed the way I managed my space. For example, instead of waiting until the weekend to do a big cleaning session, I started setting aside 10 minutes every evening. I'd focus on tidying up a single area, whether it's clearing off the kitchen counter or putting away books and clutter in the living room. I set a timer for 10 minutes and did what I could in that time. The change was small but noticeable, and I didn't feel overwhelmed. After a few weeks, I noticed how much easier it was to keep things organized and how much less clutter built up. By making cleaning a small daily habit, I was able to avoid the big messes that would normally require hours of effort. It's a lot less daunting when you know you only need a few minutes to keep things looking neat. It's also a lot more sustainable and doesn't feel like a huge chore. Now let's move on to a strategy that helps prevent clutter from accumulating in the first place. One of the most challenging, yet most rewarding aspects of decluttering is learning to let go of things you no longer need. We all have items in our homes that we've held on to for too long, even though they no longer serve a purpose. Whether it's a sweater that's been in the back of the closet for years, old receipts you never use, or that kitchen gadget you thought you'd use but never have the struggle to let go, is real. But holding on to these items only adds to the clutter and can make your space feel cramped and overwhelming. Letting go of things that no longer serve you is a crucial step in creating a clean and organized environment. For example, I used to keep a drawer full of old receipts, expired coupons, and random pieces of paper. Every time I opened it, it just made me feel more stressed. One day I decided to take a deep breath and go through it all. I threw away everything I didn't need anymore, and honestly, it was such a relief. The drawer felt lighter, and I didn't feel weighed down by useless clutter. The process of letting go doesn't have to be all at once, and it doesn't mean you have to be ruthless with everything. It's about making space for what truly matters and freeing yourself from the burden of unnecessary stuff. When you let go of items that don't serve you, it's not just your space that becomes cleaner. Your mind feels clearer too. Letting go is an essential part of decluttering. Now let's move on to another tip that will help you maintain this clean space. Let's move on to something that can help prevent clutter from building up in the first place: creating a regular clutter removal routine. One of the main reasons our homes get cluttered is because we let small things pile up over time. A sock here, a piece of paper there, and before you know it, you've got an entire room full of stuff. The trick is to address it daily. Even just a few minutes each day can make a huge difference. The idea is to spend a short amount of time each day, or at least a few times a week, to quickly declutter and keep things from getting out of hand. For me, I set aside 5 minutes every evening before bed to go through a few areas of the house. I start by clearing the kitchen counter, then I quickly check the living room and bedroom to put things back in their place. These small, consistent efforts prevent things from piling up, and I don't need to spend hours doing a major cleanup at the end of the week. Even on the busiest days, taking just 5 minutes to reset things makes a huge difference in how the space feels. Having a clutter removal routine means you're actively maintaining your space, and over time, it becomes a habit that feels natural. You won't feel overwhelmed because it becomes part of your daily routine, and it's a manageable task that keeps things neat without taking up too much time or energy. By incorporating this routine, you'll be able to keep clutter at bay. Now let's move on to another tip to help keep your space looking neat with minimal effort. Let's dive into a simple rule that can help you keep clutter from piling up, the one in, one out rule. We've all been there. You buy something new and before you know it, your space is a little more cramped than before. The one in, one out rule is a great way to prevent this. It's simple. For every new item you bring into your home, get rid of something you no longer need or use. This rule helps you maintain balance in your space and make sure that you're not accumulating things unnecessarily. For instance, when I buy a new pair of shoes, I make sure to donate an old pair that I haven't worn in a while. This way, I'm not just adding to my closet, but actively keeping it in check. I've applied this rule in my wardrobe, my kitchen, and even with books. Every time I get something new, I make it a point to donate or throw away something that I no longer use. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly effective at preventing clutter from building up. The beauty of this rule is that it forces you to evaluate what's truly necessary and what's just taking up space. It keeps your belongings in balance and ensures that you're not overwhelmed by stuff you don't really need. With this simple rule, you'll find it much easier to maintain a clutter-free space. Now let's talk about a strategy that will help keep your space organized without much effort. Let's now talk about an easy habit that can save you a lot of time and effort tidying up as you go. One of the biggest reasons clutter builds up is because we tend to leave things where they are instead of putting them away right after using them. We tell ourselves, I'll clean up later, but then later never comes and the clutter keeps accumulating. The key to avoiding this is to tidy up as you go. It's a small change, but it makes a huge difference in keeping your space organized. For example, when I'm cooking, I used to leave all the dishes and utensils on the counter thinking I'd clean them all once I was done. But then by the time dinner was over, the mess would be overwhelming. Now I make it a point to wash or put away dishes while I'm still cooking. If I'm done using something, I clean it immediately and put it away. By the time the meal is over, my kitchen is almost clean, and I don't feel like I have to spend hours afterwards scrubbing and tidying. This simple habit works in any area of your life, whether it's folding clothes as you take them out of the dryer or putting away your tools after a project. When you tidy up as you go, you prevent the clutter from building up in the first place. It doesn't feel like a big chore, and you're saving yourself a lot of time later on. By adopting this habit, you'll find that your space stays cleaner without you even thinking about it. Now let's move on to a tip that will help you keep your space organized in the long term. Let's now look at a way to keep your space organized and make life a little easier: smart storage solutions. A big contributor to clutter is not having a designated place for everything. When things don't have a proper spot, they tend to get scattered around and accumulate. Smart storage solutions help prevent this by organizing your items efficiently, making it easy to find what you need without the mess. It doesn't have to mean spending a lot of money on fancy bins or shelving units. Often it's about making the best use of the space you already have. For example, I used to struggle with keeping my office supplies, organized pens, notepads, papers, and other small items. They were always getting lost in a drawer. But once I started using simple drawer organizers and labeled them, everything had its own space. Now when I need something, I can find it right away without rummaging through a pile of things. Even adding shelves or using vertical space can help clear up clutter and make your space feel more open and organized. You don't need to invest in expensive solutions. You can use inexpensive baskets, repurpose boxes, or even create storage with everyday items. The goal is to ensure that everything has a place, so it's easy to put things away when you're done using them. With these storage solutions, maintaining an organized space becomes so much easier. Now let's wrap things up with our final tip, which will help you keep everything in order with little effort. Finally, let's talk about something that will keep your space organized for the long-term reassessing and adjusting your systems regularly. Decluttering isn't a one-time fix, it's an ongoing process. As time goes on, your needs and habits change, and so should the way you organize your space. It's easy to let things slip back into chaos if you don't regularly take a moment to reassess how things are working for you. This doesn't mean deep cleaning every week, but rather checking in on your systems every month or so and making adjustments where needed. For instance, after a few months, I realized that my closet needed a little refresh. I had some clothes I hadn't worn in months, and my storage system wasn't working as well as it used to. Instead of ignoring it, I took a few hours to go through everything, donate what I didn't need, and rearrange things so they fit better. This small adjustment made a huge difference in how much easier it was to get dressed in the mornings. Reassessing regularly helps you keep your space functional and prevents clutter from creeping back in. Whether it's your closet, your desk, or your kitchen, checking in on how your systems are working and making tweaks when necessary keeps everything running smoothly. By making regular adjustments, you'll keep your space organized with minimal effort. And that wraps up all the tips for today. So those are the 10 ways I apply each week to keep my home tidy effortlessly without added pressure. If you're looking to save time on cleaning and keep your mind feeling clearer, just try one step at a time. You don't have to change everything at once. Even one small thing can make a difference. If you want to take this a step further and discover how I keep my home easy to manage while still having the energy to focus on what I really enjoy doing, make sure to check out tomorrow's video. I'll be diving deep into how I organize my space to stay energized and creative. It's one you won't want to miss. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because you deserve to have a space that feels easier to live in every day.